Alan.
All right, friends, Romans,
Countrymen.
and countrymen, and members of Santa Maria Camera Club, and our esteemed judge. Welcome to our August 2021 competition. And first of all, do we have any club business of any kind whatsoever?
I hope not.
Oh, well. Oh, Jeannie's joined. Hello, Jeannie.
I think Penny canceled the field trip, didn't she?
Yeah, she did. Yeah, did it. Which is, you know, we'll do it. Yeah. And then I'll just tell you about the next program. I think I'm going to continue with the photo books because Tony has one to show, and anyone else who wants to talk about photo books, I think we'll do another program on photo books, and maybe by then we'll have all the timeline in for submitting the photo books for the end of the year competition. So, who would like to introduce our judge? Celeste, Chuck?
Well,
Would you like to do it?
Celeste can probably tell more about herself than I can, but I've known Celeste for a few years through Adobe MAX. We've met several times, and just always pleasant to be around. And I had to ask Teresa how to pronounce your last name, and I probably still can't do it right, so I'll let you do that. But she's just great, very talented, and we're happy to have her here. I'm just very glad she volunteered to judge for us when I asked if anybody could judge.
Yes, well, thank you for taking me up on the offer. We know of the common Adobe connection. I'm also a commercial photographer. I started my career in photography after graduating from New England School of Photography and commercial advertising photography. So I subsisted on the income that I could earn with my photography. In the beginning of my career, I used to lament that I couldn't spend time shooting rocks and trees, that all I could do was, you know, product photography and executive headshots and catalogs and things like that, only to go full circle and spend more time doing fine art photography and wishing, no, I just want to get paid for it, you know, because fine art photography is such a subjective thing. You know, when you're a commercial photographer, you have to be prepared to shoot anything, anywhere, and the best camera you have is the one that you've got in your hands, right? So, I mean, we started out in my day with a 4x5 and a 2 1/4. We never touched 35 millimeter unless we were shooting events. And so the evolution of technology and capabilities and how exceptional people have become in visualizing and photographing is really kind of a fun time to be involved in it. So some of my work is in private collections in a couple of hospitals in Massachusetts. I'm a juried member of the New Hampshire Artists Association. I've exhibited, but again, it sounds terrible, but it's, you know, if I can't make money doing it, you know, I just care if I like the photos for me. So I hope that I can do honor to the lovely work that I've seen tonight. And I'm kind of excited about getting started. So what I did was I went through everything. I made cheat sheets just to keep myself on track. I'll refer to that. I think you guys have a good flow. So I'll hand it back over to you. I can't wait to get started. I do a lot of coaching one-on-one in Photoshop and Lightroom. So if I say something that you want to ask me about later, certainly reach out.
Okay, so we'll start. And so how we do this is we have two categories. We've got monochrome and color, and we're going to start with the color first. we'll do a review through. First time, just a fairly quick review, and then we'll do a second review, and I guess the title of the work will be given, and at that time you'll go ahead and critique it, give it a score.
Penny, would you like to do the color?
Sure. I'm
Okay.
ready for color.
Okay.
All right.
Here we go.
So now let's see if we can get this thing working properly here. Hang on, I gotta adjust a couple things here. I gotta get my screen set up so I can see things here.
We're not likely to do it.
I'm sorry?
We're not gonna let you do it.
So you can, for some reason I'm getting,
That's all right. We can't see it.
okay, good, okay. First one.
Are you ready for me to critique, or are you gonna run
No,
through?
no, we're just, you're gonna be able to just look at these first. And-
Perfect.
Okay,
Ran through.
and so will everybody else. Okay, here we are.
Great.
The title is After Hours.
Okay. So, are you all set, Penny?
Yeah, you're on stage now.
Okay. So I love this. I love the different levels of information on this. You can see that the front pane is actually painted on the glass, but you've got this bright light sort of in a cage that draws you in. But what I really love is what's lost and found in this image. When I look at it, it takes me a little while to make my way around the image, but then in the upper left, it almost looks like the outside painting is holding up this sphere with a reflection in it. So it's really well composed. It has some intriguing lost and found elements. The reflection shows very well. There's some nice vignetting that really pulls the viewer in. So I gave this a 17.
Okay.
Boxcar Shadowplay.
So I love this as well. What I think is very strong about this is the way the photographer has pulled the window off center, and there's some great contrast, some very striking color contrast with the shadows. This is one where I might pull the blacks up even more to accentuate the contrast between the orange and the black. There's really nice detail across the frame. One thing I would like to see is using the lens correction so that the it looks like it's slanting to the right a little bit. And so I would use the horizontal lens correction in Lightroom and just try to straighten that a little bit. But I gave it an 18. I think it's quite lovely.
Danger.
I love it. I love the name of it. And this is a really fabulous example of urban X photography, finding beauty in decay. And I think the bolts in the foreground anchor the image quite nicely. There's good contrast. I love that this isn't juiced up. It's really a very lovely palette. I like the contrast between the peeling away of a sign, and yet there's new growth on that background. So it really tells a story, old and new, dead and alive. And it's very, very nicely composed. I gave it a 17.
Forest.
This is super captivating, and this is kind of fun because I looked at it large, I looked at it small. I wondered a little bit if there was vignetting around this, if we would make that center clear, more clear, right? There's a branch that weaves its way through the two pillars of trees, and you see the tree behind it. So it's very intriguing. It's got nice details. It's tack sharp. You feel like the colors are a little too juiced up. I think it's a touch oversaturated for me. Green is a difficult color to represent accurately, and so I can't tell. I'd like to see the before and after on this, but if you use your hands and you kind of softly vignette that image, I think if it had a sort of a medium vignette on that, it might help. And so it also could use a true black, right? So the black is really sort of brown here. I gave this a 17.
Hang tight.
Yeah, I'm a sucker for dragonflies for a lot of reasons. This is a really strong macro image. I'm not sure if there's more to the image on the top, so it feels a little pinched to me on the top. I'm glad that it's not dead center, but if I had a little more air around the top of the wings, I think that it would be a little bit stronger balance. It also has a bit of noise, so this might be a good time to investigate, maybe a third-party denoise app. But it's absolutely lovely. I gave this a 17.5.
We don't have points.
You don't? Okay, well then let's make it an 18.
Killdeer reflection.
Could you repeat that?
Killdeer reflection.
This is such a peaceful, nice capture. The reflection is beautiful. It's great focus. This made me wonder what it would look like as a monochrome or a black and white. It's really very peaceful. I gave this one a 17.
Melon still life.
So this is just a beautiful composition. There's a great, leading, your eye sort of comes in the lower left, the light on the melon pulls you up to the right, and then the shape of it pulls you back around, and the knife points you out the bottom right, and the handle of the knife is almost lost in the dark values, yet there's plenty of detail in the wood. It's very rich. The seeds just perfect position on the cut half of the melon. I think it's well balanced. I think there's a nice perspective, great painterly natural light. I gave this a 20.
My happy place.
I can see why. This is a lovely image. I think the highlight in the sort of third right portion of the image is very distracting. If I were there shooting this, I would wonder if I moved a little to the left, if I moved a little to the right, if I could balance the left tree. You know, I'm not sure. I think this could benefit with the radial filter, maybe pulling a little more detail out of the bottom of the fountain, and then maybe some softening of that highlight. I gave this a 17.
Come to mama.
Yeah, this is a really cute capture. I can just imagine what the noise might have been like. I wish the little guy was just a little closer, but I mean, this is well framed. You know, I think a subtle vignette on this might help to frame it a little bit. The teal color is so even. I think a vignette might give it a little more pop. I gave this a 15.
Mission San Antonio.
So I love the shadows in this. I think the shadows are sort of the strongest element in this photo. I'd look at cropping it a little bit differently. The left side of it, it has a line, and I just want to cut off that left first arc and start the image there. And then again, I would work with straightening out that strong line on the right side. And I'd probably pull a little more black out of those shadows, either by using the targeted adjustment brush to just make them be more dominant. I gave this one an 18.
Morning at the beach.
So this looks like these kids are really having fun. It's a beautiful capture. The light is perfect. The reflection is gorgeous. There's nice detail in the clothing and the hair, their hands, the way they're clasped. It just looks beautiful. I'm not sure it had to be a square. I don't know if that was, if there's more of the shadow of the kids. I think it would be a really strong vertical. But I think it's got beautiful clarity. I can almost hear the waves, and I feel like I'm there. I gave this a 19.
Sunflower.
I never get tired of sunflowers. They're my favorite. I love them. I photograph them all the time. I do studies with them. When I see this, I just want to play with the image. There's so many things that come to mind. I think it would be interesting to see this crop differently. But I do like how crisp and sharp it is, and I do like the sort of messiness of the petals. I might force the black a little bit more on this, just to give it more contrast between the yellow and the background. So I might look at this as a study and push this, you know, with to having a more black background or less green around the yellow. So I gave this an 18.
Wimbrels on parade.
So this is hard to do. It's hard to get. They move so fast. You have to either sit and let them walk into your frame, or chase them around. I love the symmetry and the shape of this, along with the shape of the water. I think there were some maybe some challenges with the focus because of the aperture. I'm not sure, you know, what the exposure settings, or, you know, what the camera settings were on this, you know, and what it was actually shot with. But I think, you know, perhaps a higher ISO and a smaller aperture would have increased the focal range on it. But I do love the way this is lined up. And I think if the image is kept small, I think it's quite strong. I gave it a 15.
Window.
Yeah, I love the graphical abstract feeling in this, and it's just very well composed. It's got very strong lines, and just some very interesting flecks and details, and it's sharp. There's a great interplay with the shapes and textures and colors in this photo. I gave it a 19.
Curlew.
This is very nicely done. It's super sharp. I love the leg is either just coming up or just going down. It's really sweet. The background's a little flat, and I think that's okay in this instance. I think, you know, we get that, you know, it's a shorebird. It's you know, right along the edge, and that's wet sand. I gave it an 18.
Keep your eye on the prize.
So, you know, this is really hard to do, to have everything, you know, have all your camera settings perfect, and stay locked on the bird while it's flying. There's great detail in the feathers, in the bird, just from head to toe or wing to wing, front to back. The trees are in great form. It's a beautiful composition. It's just very well done. So good eye, great technical skill. You know, just a magnificent capture. I gave this a 21.
The trail.
You know, I love this image. I just love this image from the first time I looked at it to now. I just, I love the fence along the path leading up and out to the right. I love the way the foreground is framed by these amazing plants. It feels like the shooter put a lot of thought into how can I make this an interesting photo of somebody riding a horse, and I think they really pulled it off. This is another one where I would say that the textures, playing with the colors, playing with the subject and the leading lines, it's just a very pleasing image overall. So I gave this a 19, and I know that this means that there's a lot of tie breakers, but there are a lot of very nice images in this collection.
Okay,
Okay. Well,
let me stop sharing for a minute.
see. We have 3 scores of 19 that will be for third and honorable mention.
Okay.
And that is number 11, Morning
Number
at
11.
the Beach.
Hang on, 11, okay.
14, Window.
Okay, whoops, hang on, okay.
And 17, The Trail. The last one we showed.
Okay,
So
Okay.
these 3, one for third, one for honorable mention, and then the other will come back again another day.
Can I see the 3 of them together?
yeah, I was going to try to do that here. And 17. Let's see. Oh, hang on a second here. Let me. I forget which one. Okay, so I'm forgetting which one to.
Push.
Review mode.
That's what I was trying to remember. So it's 11, 14, and 17, and view in review mode. Is that what you said?
Yeah, that'll work.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Good. Ah, perfect. Thanks, Greg.
Yeah, very good.
Okay, so let's do honorable mention first. So I think let's go with the trail as honorable mention.
Okay.
And now for third place, this is difficult because they're quite different subject matters. So I think the abstract absolutely deserves a third place, and I think the morning at the beach is
Second.
quite well too. So I'll go with window as third place.
Okay. So I have the window for third place and the trail for honorable mention. Thank you.
Yeah, honorable mention is very unique.
Okay, so now we'll run through all of them and tell who just tell who the photographer is and the place that they achieved.
After Hours by Gregory Doudna.
Hang on a second.
Boxcar Shadowplay by Penny Powell. Danger by Chuck Ubley. Forest by Ed E. Powell. Hang Tight by Jeannie Sparks. Killdeer Reflection by Frank Trump. Melon Still Life and second place by Elaine Calvert.
Very good, Elaine.
Thank you.
My Happy Place by Harold Litweiler. Come to Mama by Jeannie Sparks. Mission San Antonio by Frank Trump. Morning at the Beach by Ed E. Powell. Sunflower by Elaine Calvert. Wimbrels on Parade by Penny Powell. Window in Third Place by Chuck Ubley.
Good going, Chuck.
Thanks.
Curlew by Frank Trump. Keep Your Eye on the Prize in First Place by Jeannie Sparks.
Yay, Jeannie.
Well done. Well done.
Thanks.
The Trail in Honorable Mention by Chuck Ubley.
Hmm.
Okay. So those were some really nice work. All of it, I thought was
Nice
all
job.
really, really great.
I thought so too.
Yeah. So I'm going to call a recess break for a moment here before we start. So anybody want to get a glass of wine or a cup of coffee or something? I'll be back.
I had a question for Frank Trump.
Yes.
Frank, when were you at San Antonio Mission? Was that recently?
That was a year ago.
Was that
On
when it
New
was
Year's
still
Day.
under construction?
Yeah, there was some.
Okay,
Yeah,
but I
in those
didn't.
arches there was some construction tape, so I had to try to angle it so that didn't show up in the picture. But yeah, there was some stuff.
Okay, I was just curious of the status there because that's where I would like to lead a field trip.
Yeah, I'd never
in the
been.
future.
I'd never been out to Fort Hunter Liggett or any of that either.
Yeah.
I guess the most
Well, that's
isolated mission there is in the state.
from what I saw on their website, because I've been kind of keeping track of it during their construction phase of trying to make it earthquake proof and all. It looks like they completely tore out the old orchard that was inside the perimeter.
Uh-huh.
And for me, that's a real disappointment. Some of those trees were pretty nice to photograph.
Yeah, yeah.
So we'll see what they replace that with.
It was kind of neat, some of the old adobe walls that were still out there, and
Yeah, it's a good spot and not so far for us.
yeah.
All right. Everybody ready?
Yep.
Okay, so we're going to do the monochrome.
I think Celeste stepped out for a second.
Oh, okay.
I'm here and I
Oh, there
have
you are. Okay.
sent- good to go.
Okay. So like I said, we're going to do the monochrome. So here we go. Okay. Here we go.
This one is titled Barn at the End of the Lane.
I love this. I think it is a very gentle image. There's strong leading lines. The dappled light shows very nicely. I think that this is perhaps a little too open in the shadows. I wonder if the area, particularly on the left, was left dark, if that might have been helpful to just keep the viewer looking towards the end of the road. So I think I would say that it might have just been a little, the shadows were opened up a little too much perhaps on this one. Maybe it could have been done more selectively with a paintbrush tool instead of sliding the control all the way to the right. I'd have to see how it was edited, but I gave this a 17. So
This is titled Bicycle Lane.
There's great leading lines on this, and it's a great title. The more I looked at this, I wondered a little bit about the way the bridge looks like it's tipping to the left, and I wondered if if maybe standing a little more to the right, might have made a difference so that there was a little more of that right railing. But it's very strong, and good technique. I also wondered a little bit about that shadow on the right coming in. Feel like I either want to see more of it or not at all. But I gave that a 17.
Canyon Sentinel.
So this is a really lovely composition. I love the formations in the lower right corner, and then the next row in sort of peaking, and this shape of this rock. The first time I looked at it, I thought it was like a statue or a hole in the rock. It's very compelling. It makes me want to know more. I think I gave this a 19. It's nicely composed and edited. I would pull up a little more black, I think.
Grazing Doe.
Well, this is just a magical moment in the woods altogether. I mean, just being that close, having the light fall perfectly on the doe's head. It's well framed. It's well edited. It's really an exceptional capture. I gave it an 18.
Jessie number 7A.
What's the title, please?
Jessie number 7A.
Okay, so this, when I saw this image, I just wanted to know more about it. I wanted to know everything about it. Where did the idea come from? Was it a concept piece from the beginning? Was it, how did this happen? If it was a concept piece, it's very well executed. I think it's super mysterious. Again, inspirational. It completely pulled me in. It's balanced. It's got nice texture. It's soft and subtle, but it's still rich. I think it's an exceptional creation. This is a 21. Love the hand in the foreground.
This
Sorry.
is Last Flight at Texas Springs.
You know, again, just a really well done, compositionally made photo. The negative space on the right works really well. It's a very dramatic scene. It's quite Hopper-esque, if you will. It's got beautiful, rich black, fabulous details. It's hitting, you know, all of the shades of gray. It's technically sound on all accounts. The only thing that I wondered about if I was playing with this image, and I don't know that I would do it, I would do a version of it and then I would see if I liked it. But the wire in the left, you know, I don't know if it helps or hurts. For me, it kind of interferes with that mountain in the background. So I would take a look at that without the wire. I gave it a 20.
One wave rides them all.
So this is beautiful symmetry. It looks very much like it was a wet, cloudy, foggy day. Overall, the image is a little too flat. There isn't a crisp white, and I think there could be. I think the wetsuit on the left has some white that could be tweaked, as well as the whites in the waves. So I think it's just a little flat, but I think with a little bit of work and pumping up the contrast a little bit, and maybe lightening it overall, I gave it a 16.
A time to reflect.
So this is just a beautiful photo. I love, you know, the framing of it and the expression on his face. The focus looks like it was a little bit of a challenge, and it can be sometimes. You have to, are you focusing on the nose? Are you focusing on the eyes? I was always taught you focus at the bridge of the nose and between the eyes, and that's sort of the rule of thumb that I use. But I just love this photo. It's another one that makes me want to know more about who he is and you know what his story is. So it's just a lovely image. I gave it a 17.
Brian May Band, 1993.
1993?
1993.
Is that when the photo was taken, or that's just the name of it? Huh.
That's, I don't know, that's the title.
Okay. Well, this is also hard to do, to be in a room full of thousands of people trying to get the shot. It's well composed. I love the silhouette of the heads in the foreground. I'm not sure that if what I'm seeing is pixelation due to the WebEx or if the image actually has pixelation. I think because of the graphical nature of the spotlights, I think that this is an image where more black might be better. And I would experiment with pulling out more black, not at the risk of losing the spotlights though. So I would encourage, you know, maybe working that a little bit, so that if that is pixelation in the foreground, that it just sort of melts into black. And I gave that one an 18.
Outside Amaldi Wine Bar.
Yeah, this is you know, this is an image where the editing style works exceptionally well. I love the nuanced, aged look. I think that this doesn't need to be as wide as it is. I think it could be cropped into the highlight on the right. Just I wouldn't cut that highlight off, but I would, if I could click on it, I would slide that right side right in. The black triangle in the roof is your best friend in this image because it's really strong, and it's that sort of framing. Like the way I look at it, I take out that right side altogether. Well, not, you know, just you've got the first sight of that wall, and I would also use some lens correction on this as well too, to straighten out those lines. Anytime there's architecture involved in your photo, you want to try and straighten out your lines. That's just rule number one. All architectural photography was shot with 4x5 or 8x10 so that you could utilize the swings and shifts of the bellows to straighten out your lines. So whenever I look at buildings, if they're collapsing in and not on purpose, it just feels a little off. So I just try to straighten that perspective out a little bit. I gave this a 19.
Window on Rhyolite Moon.
Yeah, what a brilliant capture. I have to ask though, am I seeing like a gray halo against a black? Like it's unclear to me.
You mean up here?
Um,
At the
so
top?
there's, well, so let's go from the top. So the top third, there's black, and then there seems to be, is it a cloud? Is it, there's a gray mass over the mountain, and I'm not clear on what that is. It's a brilliant capture. It's nicely edited. It's just unclear to me whether that is due to manipulation or what. I gave it a 20. I love the image. I just wish I could make out what I'm actually seeing. So, but I think it's a great shot, great image.
It's probably a city glow from Sadie.
What's that?
Oh, I was just speculating what it might be.
She
Yeah.
thinks that it might be the glow from the city, from Beatty.
Okay, so maybe, yeah, the shadows were opened up a little too much on it, but it's a beautiful caption. So again, what's the name of this one?
Oh, I'm sorry. This is New York Skyscrapers.
Yeah. So this is an example of what I was talking about, where you can use the perspective as leading lines to pull the viewer in. This is an extraordinary photo. I love the crispness and sharpness. It's just amazing against the blurred clouds. So speculating that this was a slow exposure as the clouds were moving, and clearly a tripod night shot. Just a great image, super sharp. I love the reflections, the lights. Just reminds me of, always, look up. And it would have been too perfect if the street sign wasn't there. But beautiful image. I gave that a 19.
With hand shadow number 2.
Yeah, this is very fun, very cool. I like the reflection, the intrigue, the mystery. How is, that shadow on his face on the right side really being made? I find the shadow to the left of the arm a little distracting. I'd probably retouch that out. And I gave that an 18.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, we have, again, we need to break the tie with the 19s.
Okay.
Which would be number 3, Canyon Sentinel.
Okay.
Number 10, Outside Amaldi Wine Bar. And New York Skyscrapers, number 12. And from this, we need to pick an honorable mention.
Okay.
Okay.
So one is an honorable mention, one is a third place.
No, one, we just need an honorable mention. We're going to break the tie between 2 others to get second and third.
Okay, so these 3 are up for honorable mention.
Correct.
Well, I think I'm going to go Outside Amaldi Wine Bar because I think that was just right place, right time, right editing, great mood. And hopefully the other 2 will come around again because they're beautiful images.
Yeah, hope so.
Okay.
Okay, now we need to look at number 6, Last Light at Texas Springs, and number 11, Window on Rhyolite Moon. And from these 2, we're going to pick a second and third.
Yeah, this is super challenging. Technically, they're equally strong for different reasons. Shooting the moon and getting that level of detail, that's one shot. That wasn't 2 shots stripped together.
Oh, I don't have the information on that. We can ask the maker after.
Okay,
after we-
because
it shouldn't be,
okay,
manipulation shouldn't be one of the factors to
okay.
determine in our competitions, but it is allowed.
Okay.
If that's the case, I don't know.
Boy. Last Light of Texas Springs, and that wasn't easy. If I could make out more of what that gray mass is over the mountain below the black, I would be more confident, but I can't figure it out. So a light at Texas Springs.
That's second place.
That will be for second, and the window will be third then.
Okay.
Right. Okay.
Good.
We're ready.
Ready?
Yes.
All right. There you go.
Barn at the End of the Lane by Elaine Calvert. Bicycle Lane by Tony Martindale. Canyon Sentinel by Gregory Doudna. Grazing Doe by Penny Powell.
That's a nice photo, Penny.
Yes.
It's just so
Thank
beautiful.
you.
I got so hot in that doe costume. Oh my gosh.
But you look great that way.
Yeah, I know. I look so much better.
This is Jesse, number 7A, our first place image by Jim McInnes.
Okay, and I want to know more about that.
Well, this was Jessie was 23, about 23 at this time. I
She
made
looks
this.
16.
I know she's a redhead and she's very, very, very beautiful and looks very young. I made it in the Badlands in South Dakota. It's part of a series that I do with her, and that's that's about it. I mean, she's just a
Well,
great model.
yeah, no, I mean, did you compose this before you photographed it?
No,
pose
no.
that
What I did a couple like this, and I was laying on my back, and I had her pose like she was reaching out to me or helping me up, or that she was a dream, that type of thing. So that was a general idea.
That's extraordinary. It's well done.
Oh,
Nicely
well,
done. Yeah.
Thank you.
This is Last Light at Texas Springs, second place by Ed E. Powell.
Way to go,
Yeah.
Ed.
Not Ed.
And that's a really nice photo.
Yeah.
I want to know, did you remove the phone?
No, the phone wasn't in there.
Yeah.
We were at, it's actually, Texas Springs is the name of a campground at Death Valley. And this phone booth was there. We photographed it late afternoon or early evening. It was still light. And kudos to Penny. She had this idea of putting a light in there. There was no light. And we had a bar light, a little bar thing, long rectangular thing, battery operated, and it fit right up in there and it looked like the natural light from the phone booth. And so we spent some time making photographs of it, and this was my favorite of several that we did. It's well, it is what it is, and I like it.
Yeah.
I'm
Very
waiting
cool.
for the Martian to beam in or
Nice
something.
job.
Oh, they
Yeah,
left
nice
earlier in
job.
the day.
They took the phone.
Mhm.
Yes, he did.
Yeah,
Left
well,
the booth.
ET couldn't call home now.
It created quite a stir because the guy that, I guess he's the campground host or something, he was camped
Right behind.
outside the frame to the left looking at it. And so we got this thing lighted and we're making photographs, and this guy comes over and he had the most puzzled look on his face because he's been there every night for who knows how long, and now tonight the phone booth is lighted. What the hell's going on here?
It
ET
did
was
attract attention.
One Wave Rides Them All by Harold Litweiler.
Harold, where is that taken? Is that Santa Barbara? Maybe he's not here.
Harold, maybe he left. It was in Ventura.
Oh, Ventura.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't
I
recognize.
like.
Yeah,
I
it was
like
really,
the
really
faint.
foggy that morning. You can tell.
Yeah.
Oh, I like the background though. A lot of times I haven't seen that kind of background on these shots of the surfer, so looks good.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. A Time to Reflect by Harold Litweiler. Very nice.
Nice.
Brian May Band, 1993 by Tony Martindale.
Taken on December the 11th, 1993, with film. Hence, it's not noise, it's grain.
Yeah, that is an excellent photograph, Tony. I'm really very impressed with that.
Absolutely. I love it.
Really, just
I had
it's
to
like,
smuggle the camera in.
yeah, no, I mean, I love all the spotlights and everything, creating the triangles, the angles and everything there, and your attention goes straight to the guitarist, and then you wander around your back to him. Like our judge said, the heads in the foreground are I think, an asset to the photograph. I think it's fantastic. I think it's really great. Nice work.
And film was not as forgiving with exposure, so
No, it wasn't.
that's
It
really
still
nice.
isn't.
Absolutely. Yeah, you killed it. That was great.
Thanks.
Outside Amaldi Wine Bar And our honorable mention by Jim McInnes.
I made this one with a cell phone or with a smartphone, by the way.
Love it.
Oh,
Nice.
That's right. Gone from film right to the smartphone.
Exactly. We skipped the large format and 35 millimeter altogether.
There you go.
this is Window on Rhyolite Moon by Gregory Doudna in our third place.
It
Yeah.
is not a composite. The moon was, I had to stand in the right place to get it.
Well, very well done, because it's challenging to get the detail in the foreground and a well exposed moon shot.
I went back and looked at the original image. There was a lot of, it was very windy. There was a lot of suspended dust in the sky. And it didn't really show up that well until I converted it to black and white, and I missed it. If I changed the contrast and stuff, that banding would go away. It is definitely a processing error.
I see. I see. I'm not sure that it's an error. I'm just not sure. Like, if I had the image and I saw it, I don't know. I mean, I feel like I know what I would do. I feel like I would pull that gray, like with Photoshop and content aware or something. I think I would even that out so that there wasn't as much of a difference between the top third and that. It's very delineated to me, and I think I would look at.
I have to agree with you. So.
It's just beautiful. I mean, it's well composed, and I just think it's fun. It's awesome.
Thank you.
What did you make?
What Greg didn't tell you is that building was completely intact until he brought in the wrecking ball.
I love this too.
What do you want to do for a photo?
This is New York Skyscrapers by
What's
Tony
interesting to
Martindale.
me about this is this reflection here on the dead center. It's like it runs up one side and it's a little shorter.
Yes. Yeah.
Tony, is this? Did you use selective dodging and burning with like that one architect that we looked at?
No, I didn't. No,
Okay.
this was camera on a tripod, boom. And as you Celeste say, I wish that sign wasn't there, but I couldn't take it out.
I like the sign there.
Yeah, I like the sign.
Yeah.
I think it's cool. I think it would have been a problem if the sign were facing the other way and we could read the text. I think then it would become a huge distraction.
I was
As
going
it
to say,
is, it helps define the city, and you're on the street there. I don't have a problem with the sign. I think without the sign, it would be a little sterile.
Maybe you're right. I really like the fact that you can read the New York Health and Racket Club.
Yeah.
Upside down.
Yeah, it's a beautiful capture. This is intriguing too.
With Hand, Shadow Number 2 by Jim McInnes.
Okay, I think that's it.
This is number one.
Okay, let me stop sharing.
Well,
Hey,
that
what-
was super fun, you guys.
Hey, thanks, Celeste. Good comments.
Yes.
Well, thank you. I enjoyed it. When I get out your way, I'll be sure to see if you have any photo walks going on.
We'll make one for you.
That would be wonderful.
Yeah.
You'll have a great time walking around Santa Maria.
Yeah.
I have a Santa Barbara folder that goes back early 2000s. It was beautiful. I'd love to go again. Thank you all.
I said Santa Maria, not Santa Barbara.
Sorry, you did say that.
How do you pronounce your last name, by the way?
Guidice.
Say it again?
Guidice.
Guidice. Okay.
Okay.
All right, you all. Have a great rest of your night.
Really
Yes.
appreciate it.
Bye.
Thank you, Ellen. Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Bye.
Look out for the check.
Thanks.
Well.
All right.
How was that then?
Say what?
How was that then?
That was pretty good.
Oh, Penny had us on mute, Tony. I liked your bicycle lane also very much. Nice shot.
And
These sort of things, it's difficult because she said about the shadow. Well, the sun's up there, you know.
Yeah.
Shadow.
Yeah.
Well, no, I was looking. It looks like the shadow was from the wires from the bridge.
Yeah, that's what I say. The
Yeah, I was
wire.
gonna say, yeah, that's
That
what
was the wire on the top.
That's part of the.
The two supports that are side
Yeah.
to side. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you for that.
But I got to agree. I hadn't thought of it before because of the angle of the bridge, the way it goes up. It's when I was looking at the yeah, that's it. Bring it up. When I was looking at the road bed, it is a little bit tilted.
It does look like it. On the left side, it looks a little higher.
Yes.
You know.
So were you drinking a little bit that day?
I was drinking a lot that day. This is in Dublin, so there was lots of Guinness going down.
And you don't see
Say
the
no
bottle.
more.
You don't see the bottle behind the Tony that are empty now.
Sorry, I didn't catch what you said.
Now you don't see the bottle of Tony behind that are empty now.
he hid the bottle. Couldn't see it.
Yeah, I couldn't see it, but yes.
That's what those shadows are from, the bottles.
See on the right-hand side at the top, there's the three supports for the top of the bridge. That's
right here, and they're reflected down here.
Yeah,
that's where the shadows.
Yeah.
I think they're interesting. It didn't bother me to have them there.
Well, I think all she was saying is that she thought this was too fat down here at the bottom. You know, in other words, you see how it balloons out here on this shadow on the.
Yeah.
That's because the support wire does as well.
Yeah. Right, of course. But what she was saying,
I could have taken it out in Photoshop.
No, but if you took it out, then you know it doesn't match with the supports on top.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead. Make it skinnier though. You can make it skinnier.
Yeah, I would clone it down, you know, basically, if I was going to do anything to it to make it look like these other two, you know.
Yes.
She mentioned
that let's reduce Tony's score on that.
Yeah.
Let's give Tony a 14.
Yeah, that's better. Yeah.
Yeah.
She mentioned she wanted him to move to the right and include more of the rail on the end.
Okay, make it a 13 then.
But then I don't know if that would improve it or not. I don't know if I agree with that.
Well, yeah, it would have interfered with the coming in from the bottom left and the roadway going across the bridge.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Also, it would interfere with this beautiful arc coming up here. You know, it would change the whole dynamics of this entire structure.
Yeah.
So you know.
And it would have added a lot of dark gray with not much detail in it, probably. So
right.
That's true.
Probably not the best.
Okay.
I wanted to say to Frank that I really liked his bird picture of that curlew. I thought that was going to win in the color category.
In the color. Hang on.
Yeah.
Let me...
I was like, oh, when I saw it, I was going, oh no, that's going to get first place.
This is the one you're talking about, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it.
I love that.
What lens did you shoot that with, Frank?
That was the 1:400.
1:400. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because those guys are hard to catch. They're moving so fast. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Well,
yeah,
you're
like
nice and low.
Kinda...
You're at a nice low angle, which.
One of the things I like about it is the really subtle, soft brown tones. You know.
Yeah, it's so peaceful and just beautiful. It's just it's amazing.
And this is
I'm not shy about getting out on my chest in the sand either. So.
Oh.
Yeah, that was worth it.
Did you say you got in the sand to get that one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you can tell you're really nice and low at the bird's level, which really.
Well, there's a couple really nice things. This foot that she mentioned is really nice here, you know. But also you've got a little separation in the beak here, down here at the bottom, where it goes into the sand. It's very subtle, but it's really nice.
Yeah, I have another one where the bird is upright and his foot is also just barely touching the ground, but So I was going back and forth. Which one should I enter?
Yeah.
I decide.
Well, this one was
Try the
really
other
nice.
one next time, huh?
Yeah, yeah, we'd
Yeah.
like to see it.
Well, you can enter that one again too. I mean, it's a nice image. I like the boxcar penny too. This is the second time you've showed that, I think.
Yes.
I don't know if I saw it when you were just sharing or if this is the second time in competition.
This is the second time in competition,
Oh,
so
darn.
that's the end of it.
Because that's
Well,
nice.
I'm always trying to photograph things in the middle of the day, and it's funny because like 10, 15 minutes after this, all those shadows went away. You know,
Right.
the sun just needed to be at that upper angle coming down to make all those cool shadows.
Yeah.
I think it'd be really cool if you took Ed's face and you put it right in there and you kind of made it, shadowy.
Well, what I should have done is get a photo of the judge from her website and put it in there.
Oh, she would have been creeped out. She might not even judge. She might have run.
Great.
Next time.
So
Penny
you
for
see
the
that-
October show and tell, right?
I love the
There we go.
islands.
Yeah,
Hey,
but what you do is you send this photo to the judge so she sees it, and then when we present it, it has her face in the middle.
Awesome.
Oh, you
A
bad.
ghostly face, not too prominent.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be good.
Dark.
Well, you can do a Dr. Shepherd and just make it a black and white.
Yeah.
Enter it again. Yeah.
Wow. Now we're getting ghostly.
Melons.
Mark it up with a Sharpie a little bit, and you're ready to go for another round.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any
That's a
other
nice
ones?
image, Penny.
He
Any
likes
other ones?
melons.
Any other ones to look at?
Things
Yeah.
melons.
Jim,
I'm
can you
sorry?
go? Jim, can you go back to the monochrome?
Uh-huh.
God,
Your-
are you deaf?
Your photo of the outside the wine bar.
Uh-huh. Okay, hang on here. That's this one. Yeah.
There is a blue tone.
There's what?
There is a blue tone.
Yeah.
And
Yep. I don't know why that is, because this is it's
I'm surprised she didn't spank you for not being black.
Yeah.
You know, everything was like, well, it could do with a bit more black, and there's no black in this image.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. How'd you get away with that?
Yeah.
I don't know. Who
You
knows?
know, on my
I
screen,
don't want to know how he got away with it. I can
On
only
my
guess, and
screen,
that's enough.
on my screen, it's black.
Yeah, I think it depends on your monitor.
Yeah, I think on my monitor, most of the images that she commented, the shadows were opened up too much. Most of them that I saw on my screen looked fine. So, yeah,
Maybe just it depends
this
on
one's
how
really
bright you have your
dark.
screen.
In my screen, this looks really nice the way it is.
Well, and I'll just say I don't agree with her on the leaning architecture, because
No, yeah,
it's not an
absolutely.
architecture photo.
Yeah.
And this is in Venice, and for all you know, that building is actually leaning like that.
Right.
Probably is.
Yeah, those are old buildings.
Yep.
I love this.
Okay.
But, you know,
Thank you.
I thought she did a good critique
Yeah.
with, the way that triangular negative space at the top, the way it points down to where the action is. And
Say that again.
yeah, I can't talk. Pull that up again.
Okay. Yeah.
The black triangular negative space at the top really does add to that image. And she pointed that out. I didn't see that at first, but she pointed out how important that is.
Well,
And-
it takes away the empty sky up here, because this is all sky.
Right. And but it also kind of points to where the action of the
Right.
the scene
being
is,
focused.
and it just makes it a lot more interesting.
Yeah. Cool.
So I thought she
All
gave
right.
a pretty good critique overall.
I thought she did a good job.
Yeah.
Liked her.
I'm sorry?
I said I liked her.
Yeah.
It was hard to tell because all her, looking at her website and the kind of her commercial photography, it's always hard to tell, if they like anything else.
I saw that she did food photography, and I saw that somebody played to that. I forget who had the
I
channel.
did.
Good going, Elaine.
Well, I already had that image, so I thought, heck, if I'm ever going to put it in, now's the time.
Yeah, she liked it too. That was
Yeah.
good.
I figured that because she photographed food, that she would really pick that one to pieces and say how she would have done it differently.
Yeah.
I was surprised that it did well. I really was.
Yeah, that's the fear. You get somebody's specialty, and they could really tear you apart because they're expecting so much.
Yeah, I didn't know if it was a mistake putting that in, but I thought, what the heck, I'm going to put it in.
Well,
Yeah,
I love this, and the brown and green color combination.
Yeah.
It got this beautiful light on the surface here, and I love how the seeds are, down here.
Yeah, I didn't want it to look too perfect. I kind of.
Yeah.
Did you use some kind of light source to point at that?
I did.
Or?
I had a light set up.
Oh, okay.
For that.
I was
I
gonna
had
say
a fairly dark room, and then I set the light up.
Oh, okay.
So it would be directional light.
And did you eat the melon later?
We did eat the melon, or Ron ate the melon later.
All right. So this is unique. You'd never make it again.
No, it would never turn out like that again.
You should make it an NFT.
Where did you get the wood?
What's it? The wood.
Fungible token.
The wood is an old antique wood crate.
Oh, right.
And I don't have any old furniture, so I was looking for some old wood, and I found that to use.
I thought it looks a bit like an old church pew.
Yeah.
Well, that knife looks like the Chicago cutlery knife.
Yep, it is. Yeah, I needed something besides just the melon, and I'm not very good at staging still life. And I thought, well,
You did good on this.
the knife was used, so I'll include it. But I see so many still lifes that I really like online, and I'd like to get better at it. But
Well, you got a good start. It's a great photo, I think.
oh, thank you.
Yeah, I do. It's awesome.
Jeannie, I had a question about your dragonfly shot.
Yeah.
At number 5.
Mm-hmm.
Was there more space to, if you followed through with what the judge suggested of giving it more room, is that possible?
There is more space. I cropped into that one, so I would. Yeah, I could give more space around the wings.
Was that right there by your house where the pond is?
No, that was up in Sacramento at Land Park.
Oh yeah, that's a big park.
It's a park a couple miles from where Ken has a house.
Oh.
And so I spent an afternoon there trying out a new camera, and I was trying to get dragonflies in flight. That's fun.
Oh yeah. That's a little hard.
I got a lot of blurry shots, but I don't know. I don't know that I had any winners out of those, but I might have something. But I do have some other dragonfly shots that I might end up entering.
Well, the eyes on this one are so nice and sharp.
Yeah, you can go back and crop it, if you want to.
How much more
recrop
space should I give around that thing, do you think?
I'm sorry?
How much more space should I give around the wings, do you think? And should
less than a foot.
And whether I should cut
more
that
room
stem
on
or not.
top. Maybe I think it just needs a little more room on top. I think the sides are good. What do you think?
I think if you get another inch or so, inch and a half, something like that, that would be the max that I would do.
Okay, maybe I'll enter that one again.
Maybe go to the thirds where the dragonfly would be in the top third.
Right. So that's what I'm thinking. If you add another inch and a half or so, you'd probably put it right up on a thirds line or very close to it.
Denoise software.
Yeah. It was interesting. It was interesting that she said you should go to a third-party noise reduction software.
Yeah, well, they're all about at the moment, aren't they?
Third-party noise reduction software does not work on the new Apple computer. None of the plugins, unless they belong to Adobe, work.
Well, I mean, does it really matter, the noise? I mean, I don't know. But I get, what do you guys think? I need to denoise the, is the Dragonfly itself too noisy, or is it the background?
Dragonfly is not. It's just
It's the shadow.
The shadow areas and some of that green. And I think with in some instances, I think that doesn't matter, but in a picture like this, I think it would help to get rid of the noise.
Because I mean, we put textures in. I mean, Jim's the master of textures, and textures are noisy. So why can't you have noise in the background?
Textures are not noisy. They're, you know,
they look noisy.
they're soft, basically. You know, it's really out of focus. You know, that's how it changes it. Now some of the textures, it depends on if you have to enlarge them to fit your base image, then they can break down a little bit. But
I just don't know how I can get rid of the noise. I mean, I could see maybe the color.
You can darken it. You know, you can darken it. That will get rid of some of it. And
deleting it will get rid of the noise.
Right, and also in Camera Raw, you can add so you can add grain in Camera Raw, and that will have an effect on it.
Add grain. That's like making it noisier.
No, it'll give it changes the whole. It changes the.
Looks different.
It changes it. It makes it look like grain rather than noise. So you just have to look at it and play around with it.
So you'd add green, so there'd be green throughout the photo instead of like in the highlights too.
Sure, but you can mask it out. You know, you mask out what you don't want. I'm sorry?
Is my microphone working? I keep talking and nobody ever listens to me.
Well, that's
you don't have anything to say.
Well, we can hear you now, Tony, so I don't know what was happening.
Okay, Tony's turn. Let's all listen to Tony.
Well, even in Lightroom, you can reduce the noise, can't you?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You know, you don't have to have Topaz denoise for $80 or whatever it is, or what's the other one? On one's just bought out a denoise thing, and
right.
It's just the in thing at the moment, the in plugin, and you know, I don't believe in plugins. I don't buy them.
Well, my comment was it was interesting that she suggested a third party noise reduction. So.
Well, that's because what everybody's using these days. It's all over YouTube. You know, A1, what's it? On one noise or Topaz denoise and all that sort of stuff. But at the end of the day, she couldn't tell the difference between your noise and my grain. Mine's film grain.
Right.
That's
so
true.
There you go.
That's
the answer.
And you know, noise is state of the art. I mean, that's what we're doing today. So, you know, is it really necessary to eliminate it? Maybe not, you know.
Well, that's like my shot of the shorebirds is out of focus.
Yes, the front one.
And that I submitted that in knowing it was out of focus because I would like the mood it sets.
Mm-hmm.
But she didn't appreciate that, so that's okay.
Your birds there was so much depth to the birds the way they were lined up. It would be really hard to get every bird tack sharp. Your focus was on one of the birds in the middle.
Well, it was still out of focus, though. I looked at them.
Third one from the bottom, Jim.
Oh, third one from the bottom. I was trying to figure out.
Yeah, third one next to the
sunflower.
Oh, here, yeah,
here. The blue, yeah, that one.
Right.
Yeah.
So
the one in the middle is more focused than the one in front because and the one in back because of your, you know, they're spread out so much.
Well, what she was saying is that this one should have been in focus and let the focus fall off as you move back.
She wanted me to have more focus and not to be out of focus. But I like the out of focus, and so I just had I was wondering if that would
Oh,
appeal to her or not, and obviously it went the wrong way for me.
Jim is the king of out of focus.
Yeah. You know how I feel about blurry images. It's probably not blurry enough, Penny.
Joe said it was intentional.
That's right. I'm in an in-between phase. It's not blurred enough. Okay.
Well, you know, I mean, the classic composition is have the foreground objects be in focus and then have the focus fall off if you're going to do that.
Not necessarily. I've seen
No.
some success where the focus was, you know, the center was tack sharp and the foreground was, you know, even softer than hers is.
No, what I said was the classic way.
Classic, yeah.
Yeah. But you're right. And Robert Frank has a photograph he did. It's called the Starlet or something like that, where the starlet is in the foreground and she's completely out of focus, and what's in the background are the fans, and they're tack sharp. And it's showing you, so you know who's really the star here. You know what's important in the photograph.
Right, that's what the focus is supposed to do. It's supposed to tell you where you're supposed to look.
Exactly.
You don't always have to look at the closest thing.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Well,
that's
what you do, Penny, is you take this guy, you clone him out, move this guy back, the front one to the second one, and the second one to the front one, and add in the legs that are missing. And
Yeah, no problem.
I think I'll just go to the beach again.
That's what I would do.
What focal length were you using, Penny?
Oh, I don't know. I'd have to look at the metadata to know, but probably my my zoom 100 to 300 most likely.
Yeah.
And it was handheld. Light was gone pretty much, you know, that kind of thing. So
well, the light's beautiful in it. I like the light.
yeah, I like that a lot.
And you've got this real beautiful subtle blue color in here in the water that
the water
contrasts with the gray in the sand, you know.
Yeah, that's what I liked about it. But I guess having something in focus is a good thing.
Well, it depends.
Birds are just tough. It's hard with birds. Birds and flowers.
I guess I needed to lay down in the sand.
Yeah, like Frank.
Yeah, like Frank did.
But now, here's what you do. Next time you take Frank with you, put him on the sand, and then you can lay on top of him.
Then you can ask a bird to fly over you as you're looking up, and maybe she'll peck at you or something.
You never know.
Anybody else want to talk about other ones?
I like Jim's explanation of his first prize one. She was leaning over him and he was having thoughts about grabbing her breast, I think.
That's why it's such a successful shot.
What made you think I only had thoughts? Yeah, she's quite a lovely a woman. This was about it's about 13 years ago, so she's probably in her middle 30s now. I've lost touch with her.
Look at the grain. I mean, sorry, that's a texture.
It isn't grain, that's texture.
Yeah. Yeah. Very nice.
All right.
That looks like it would have been really difficult to mask out her hair. You had to mask out her hair.
You're talking about Jessie, this one?
Yeah, because if you put in that texture, you got rid of the original background.
Hang on a second. Let me bring it back up here.
It's the one next to the one you just highlighted.
Yeah. There we go. No, just
the textures on her hair.
Yeah, the textures on top of that image. So the textures every place. What I did is I took some of it out on her face and arms and that type of thing, and I left it in the hair.
The reviewer just showed right through the texture, but the background didn't. I don't understand textures.
Okay.
Background was the sky.
Right. Exactly.
Oh, she had the sky. Okay, so that
Yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah.
So there was a very plain sky or something behind her.
Yeah, it was just a clear blue
Okay.
sky. There were no
I'm thinking
clouds.
you're hiding a busy background, so
Yeah. No. So.
that makes sense.
Yeah. So, and I used a wide angle lens on it, so you can see that distortion there, which.
Why the lines aren't straight.
Say what?
I said that's why the lines aren't straight, because you used a wide angle lens.
Yeah, you can see the building over here leaning a little bit.
I'm sorry, it's not architecture, right?
Yeah.
Her hand is bigger than her waist.
Yeah. Nice. Some nice images.
All right. Well, I'm going to sign off. See you guys.
Okay, Harold.
See you later.
Good night.
Good night.
See ya.
Hi.
Good night.
Night.
Me too.
Silhouette, right?
Bye bye, everyone.
Bye.
See ya.
Good
Bye,
night.
Flavio.
Love you. Good night.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. And then there was 7.
Greg, how are you doing with your health, if you don't mind me asking?
They I've been having a lot of problems with various chemotherapies they're trying. My kidneys are malfunctioning at the moment.
Oh,
I've had some allergic reactions to a couple of the drugs. So we've been stalled well over a month. I had chemo this morning. I'm off for the next 2 weeks, and then I've got 2 more sessions, and that will be the end of the chemo, at least at this point. Otherwise, it's kind of going as expected. You know, chemo makes you sick.
yeah.
Yeah, it does.
That's what it does.
Can you have company, or are you trying to avoid seeing people because
No,
of
so
COVID?
my immune system is trashed.
Yeah.
So I pretty much am avoiding people. I've got a very small cluster of people I associate with. And even they are staying away. I mean, one of my friends works out at the base, and he says, yeah, he won't come by the house anymore.
Yeah.
Because they've got COVID popping up everywhere out there.
Yeah.
It's getting bad.
Yeah, so I'm pretty much staying home. My daughter comes down, helps when I have a major. One of the sessions takes 8 to 10 hours.
Oh boy.
No.
Well,
And by the time they're done with me, I shouldn't drive anywhere. So,
yeah.
but I have every faith that it'll get taken care of.
Hopefully so.
The objective is not to get rid of the cancer itself with the chemo, it's to beat it to death. And then they're sending me up to Stanford, where they'll do some surgical procedure to get rid of it.
Okay. Well,
So, between now and Christmas, I might have some free time. Who knows?
yeah.
You
Well,
look really good. You can't tell you don't feel well at all. You look good.
Yeah, nobody, you're looking at me in the street, you'd think I was healthy as a horse, but I don't feel healthy.
No.
And it is not the cancer I feel, it's all the damn chemo.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Cure
the
is worse than the
treatment.
disease.
So anyways, that's the way it is.
okay. Well, thanks for telling us so that
Yeah.
we have some empathy for you and your situation.
We're all
I'm
rooting for you.
wondering if you were probably avoiding having company, but
Yeah, I really am keeping my interface with human beings to a minimum.
Is there anything that we can do for you? Do some shopping or anything?
Oh no, I got so many neighbors here. I've lived here for 20 years, and they all moved in about the same time I did. If I need anything, all I have to do is ask. When my daughter's here, she takes care of everything.
okay. Well,
Doesn't want me going to the store. So,
good.
Yeah.
well,
So
let us
many
know if
things
we
you
could
can-
help.
You can order
Tony's
on.
the one that needs help. They're cutting his hip off on Monday.
Yeah.
On
He's going to come
Monday?
back with one leg shorter than the other. And we're not talking the middle one.
No.
That one's off limits.
He hopes they're off limits. Tony, you need to write on it. Not this leg.
Yeah.
Isn't that one already shorter than the others?
Well, not much though.
Mm.
Yeah. So. Yes, I have to go Friday. They've reinstated getting the COVID test now before everything.
Yep, 72 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go and get it shoved up my nose.
Ooh.
Well, speaking of COVID, my daughter-in-law's mother and her mother's husband came down with COVID last week.
Oh, wow.
Neither one of them got a vaccination. Casey, my daughter-in-law, has been talking to her mom, ever since she was eligible for a vaccine, saying, you need to get this vaccine, and trying to convince her, and couldn't convince her. And then she seemed like she was convinced, but she just never found the time to go get the vaccine. And she came down with COVID. Her husband caught it from her, and her husband passed away yesterday.
Oh, wow.
Oh no.
Yeah. All right, you go into bed.
Right.
Okay.
Good night.
Good night, Mom.
Good night. Everybody say good night. Good
Night.
night.
Well, Elaine, how old are they?
John, the one who passed away, he's younger than us. I would say he was maybe 60.
Wow.
If that old, maybe younger. Yeah.
Did they have a reason for not getting the vaccinations?
I think she listened to conspiracy theories a
Yeah.
little bit, and
Another one of the Facebook news readers.
she also had the excuse that she thought that she might get sick from the shot because of some other health condition that she had, and she was just nervous about getting it. And I don't know why her husband wouldn't have got it, but I assume, knowing him, it was probably a conspiracy theory kind of a thing.
Where do they live?
It's so
They
amazing.
lived in Las Vegas, which was, that they're really having a lot of cases there.
It's just dumbfounding how people can believe something that somebody somewhere in the world who they do not know tells them something.
Yeah.
And they will believe that over, CDC and,
Science and yeah.
you know,
And she was almost embarrassed because she would, when she was talking to my daughter-in-law, she would say things like, well, I don't believe it, but what do you think about this? So
Yeah.
she's just reading the wrong things, and
Gates is sticking something in your arm.
yeah,
It's
it's just so sad because now, he's gone, and it was so preventable. It just, it doesn't make sense.
Tony, when you speak, we can hardly hear you. That's why we're probably talking over you, or we
Right.
can talk over you,
You're sitting back so far that we can't hear your voice.
or turn your microphone up.
Really?
What?
Really?
What?
Say something.
1, 2, 3, 4,
Yeah.
5.
We heard 1, 2.
Better, now that
It's
you're close.
a little better. You can still go up a little more.
We can see too much of your face now, though.
Yeah. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, you just got a tiny voice. You need some more input there.
There you go.
I heard that.
Save that for Monday. You're gonna need it.
I can't sit up. It hurts my hip.
How long are they gonna have you on the table?
He said the actual surgery from the first cut takes about an hour and a half.
Yeah, the recovery will take longer than that.
Oh yeah.
I had a tumor removed from my knee many years ago. I think I was 20, and I was on the slab for 5 hours during the surgery.
Mm.
The guy that did the surgery, I was his last patient, guy Malcoots, Dr. Malcoots, orthopedic surgeon. He was a cyclist also. I think everybody knows I was an avid cyclist, as was Penny. And Mal was a cyclist also. And he got in there, and normally what they would do, it was a tumor in the striata of the muscle.
Mm.
And it was a large tumor and had another one growing inside of a different kind. They were both benign. They're in a jar at Scripps Institute down in San Diego somewhere. But normally they would see that and they would just cut the muscle and piece it back together and just cut that whole piece out. And you're on the table for an hour and then you go into recovery. Well, I was very fortunate that I had Mal doing it, and he had another cyclist in there with him, a Dr. Graves, Cliff Graves. He was a cyclist also, and his son was in there. And they elected to spend the time and go through all that muscle and take all that stuff out in line with the muscle. And so I lost very, very little actual muscle tissue. But I was on the slab for 5 hours. I think it was 5 or 5.5 hours. And, but they got it right, and I was back on the bike, and it was probably a couple of months before I could bend my leg enough to ride. But it worked out well for me.
Anyway, I've already been told I'll be getting an epidural for the pain,
Yes.
and I'll be getting, as my doctor called it, Michael Jackson juice.
Oh,
Propofol that Michael Jackson overdosed on and died.
Mm.
And
And the reason is you come out of it quick. You don't get that after the normal anesthesia. You don't get that fuzziness and all that.
So will you be able to sing and dance for us when you're done?
Yeah.
Tony's going to do the moonwalk out of the hospital.
Yeah.
take a glove with you.
Yeah.
A sequined glove.
Yeah.
Just one.
No, that's what the doctor has.
Yeah. You're clear of that one.
A few years ago, I had a lipoma removed off back of my neck, and they said give you a little anesthesia and take it out, and suddenly I didn't remember anything. I just woke up and it's like, okay, something happened.
Yeah.
It was a little deeper than we thought, and I guess it was entwined with the nerves. I'm still a little numb in my ear and still in my neck. I guess a little bit of nerve damage, but good to have it out. It was benign and all that, but it hurt to move my neck sometimes.
Yeah.
Got a big, well, it's amazing the stuff they can do.
Divot in my neck now.
You want me to tell you about my vasectomy?
Yes.
I don't want to hear about it.
Did you go home in a taxi with one foot out of either window?
Well, did you?
No.
Well, you'll be glad to have your surgery behind you.
I say what?
Tony, yeah. I said Tony will be glad to have his surgery behind him, get
Yeah.
it over with and be done. And hopefully you'll be out there walking with us on field trips again soon.
Couple of months, maybe 3. Yeah.
Well, we're probably not going to be able to go before 3 months anyway. We have to wait for this COVID stuff to be done.
Right.
Well, that's not going to happen soon.
I've got.
Yeah, Ed and I are going off on another camping trip after Labor Day, headed up to the Pacific Northwest, the Olympic Peninsula. We have never been there.
Mm-hmm.
And we're hoping that we can keep separated from people and that we can stay out of the smoke.
The smoke is going to be a big issue. Apparently it's really bad driving through there right now.
Yeah, we'll just have to see how it plays out. But
Yeah.
If it's crappy, then we'll just turn around and come back home. We did that in Idaho 2 or 3 years ago. Maybe, yeah, I think it was 3 years ago. We were up in Idaho and had some things planned to see, but it was so smoky because, of course, California was on fire.
Yeah.
And so we ended up just packing it in and coming home. We'll go up there some other time.
Well, if the smoke isn't bad, you're going to love the Olympic Peninsula.
Oh, yeah,
It's,
yeah, we'll
it's a
just see how it
beautiful
plays out.
place
And
to-
again, also it
good.
depends on the, you know, if things are really crowded and that, and we can't keep a distance from people, that'll put the skids on it too. It's just, but we'll do what we can do. So far as our camping stuff goes with the camper, we're essentially home, so it's not a whole lot different than being home. We have to go to the market when we're here. We have to, you know, do those kind of things either way, but we do feel we've got some security with the camper,
Right.
but still have to be careful of crowds and that.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna leave. Nice seeing everybody.
Okay, Chuck.
Yeah,
Bye.
Night, Chuck.
good shots you shared. Thank you.
Yes, a lot of good photos.
Doesn't have to go as far. He just has to pull the covers up.
Good point.
Couldn't resist.
Well, I've got things to do tonight too. So adios, everyone. And
Okay.
We got to
Thanks for
catch
the
up
help
on our milk
tonight.
drinking. Amazon's going to deliver another 40 gallons tomorrow, so we got a lot to drink yet before they get here. It's a subscription. Penny got a subscription to milk, but he's
I
getting a
thought you
lot.
just moved it. I
Penny
thought you
bought
just
a
moved it
cow.
to the grocery
Around the
store.
house.
You should buy a cow, Penny.
or a couple goats. Yeah.
I don't like
Okay.
goat's milk.
Good night. Good to see you all.
Okay, I'm gonna sign out too. Good night, everyone.
Okay,
Bye,
see ya.
night.
Oh, yeah.
Bye bye bye.
And then there were 5.
4.
5.
2, 1.
2 for one over here.
As 2. Yeah, I'm not counting you as 2, you know.
Yeah.
After all your blended images, you know, you're one person.
That's
Yep.
right.
Yep.
Yeah.
2 for 1.
I'm not quite sure if Ron had your hair or you had his beard. Oh well, that was that. She wasn't too bad, was she, Jim?
She was good.
You can't complain because you did all right.
Yeah. I wasn't sure what to expect. You know, like from looking at her website, it was
Well, this
hard
is
to
what I
tell.
was concerned about. Yeah.
But
Yeah, I was not. I was completely unimpressed with what she had on her website.
Well, it's not what I mean. She's pleasing clients. She has to do what her clients want.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, you got to make the money, haven't you?
Yeah. It's hard to get real creative if they just want, you know, they want what they want, I guess.
Well, not, you know, I didn't like the way the website was constructed, and
Well, I doubt she did that. I'm sure it's done by somebody for her.
yeah, but you know, she's the one that says, okay, I'll take it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you know, she was, you know, she was pretty good.
Yeah.
Had some really good, I think, made some good points and things like that. So,
Got to crush the blacks until
Yeah.
it came to your photo. And then we'll have everything as this muddy blue color.
Yeah. I was worried. I thought mine was a little on the dark side already, and then she wanted it darker, which surprised me. But again, it might be the difference of my monitor. I don't know.
Have you
Well,
calibrated it?
you know,
You calibrated your monitor.
My monitor is calibrated, yeah. It is. And it looks the same on mine now as it does on Ron's. So
well, she was saying on the left-hand side that if that was darker, you know, the first bunch of trees or whatever it was on the left, that it might have improved it. Let's see, that was in the monochrome, right?
yeah.
The first one.
So she's saying these trees over here.
Mm-hmm.
So if those were a little bit darker is what she was saying.
So no detail at all, just
What
black?
I think, no, there should be some detail, but
Plenty of detail there.
yeah, but you darken it down a little bit. And
Okay.
same thing, like, see, what I'm doing is I'm tilting my monitor
Uh-huh.
screen back, and so that darkens it. And you see this over here?
Yeah.
You know, if that darkens down a little bit, what it does is it brings your focus right into the road and right back to the building. With the when it's lighter like that, you kind of it doesn't have the same impact. I think that's what she was saying.
Yeah.
So
It just in my screen,
Mhm.
it almost looks black there with hardly any detail.
Well, I'm not really a great judge on that part of it because, like I said, you know, the contrast changes as I tilt the screen.
And
So,
maybe if I tilted the screen, it would
right.
change. Yeah.
But I mean, you could
But yeah, I'll have to. I'll
burn
have
it
to
in,
try.
burn it in a little bit. You can put a burn layer on it, you know, a soft light, 50% gray, and just take a brush and a black brush and paint over it a little bit and see what it looks like.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
if
I
you don't
did.
like,
I did darken it
yeah, well,
somewhat, but apparently I could do it some more.
you know, and also we don't know what her monitor was like either. So
Yeah. Now on the other side, over here, there's this big white bright spot. That bothers me.
right down here,
Yeah.
yeah,
That little white spot right there
yeah.
bothers me. That, to me, if anything needed to be darkened,
What,
probably that needs to be darkened.
but you know what you can do instead of darkening, you can take these
Fill
right
in with
here and
leaves.
just clone them in here.
Yeah,
You
that's
know,
a good idea.
yeah, that'd be better. I think that would be better than trying to lighten that up because that's
Yeah, that wouldn't look natural if I darkened that.
yeah.
There's a texture overlay also.
Okay.
Well, we won't go there.
Let's not.
Well, thank you for.
It's a great picture, Elaine.
Oh,
Didn't you make that when I was with you guys? We're out there.
yeah, I took
Yeah.
that when we were when we went down that road together.
Right.
And I didn't like it in color at all,
Mm-hmm.
but with this monotone look, I thought I liked it.
Yeah, I told I told Tony and Greg that I made a similar photo, but it didn't turn out as well.
Well, I'm not. It probably did. You just, like I said, the original file didn't look that good. I had to work on it. And
Well, you know, everybody works on their photos.
yeah, it was such a contrasty scene.
Uh-huh.
It was really hard to photograph because of that contrast. There really was a lot of bright lights coming into the side.
Yeah.
But I loved the tonal effect of it.
Yeah, I think, like I said, when I tilt my screen, then it really darkens the trees that line the road there, and that makes it that really highlights the road and the structure in the back. So
Yeah.
just give it a shot and see what you come up
Yeah,
with,
I'll have to try that. Maybe I'll
Yeah.
put it again sometime.
and then submit it again.
Yeah.
See, I'm not sure she's talking about the very left. But you know, you got that upright tree there, and then you got that bright area where
Right
the
here.
lights yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's maybe what she's talking about toning down.
Oh, well, maybe. But I thought she
Maybe.
said the first tree, but you know.
But so do you think, see, if I darkened that bright area, then you wouldn't see the shape of a tree there. Do you think that's important?
I don't think
Do you
it's
think
that.
it
I
should-
think, you know, if you in Photoshop, if you use the burn tool and did it on highlights and just take down the highlights from
Right
where the
here.
sun's coming
Right
from.
here.
Yeah, there
And down here.
around there.
And
Yeah,
right there.
But don't use the burn tool.
No. I actually do it in Lightroom. There's a tool I can use in Lightroom. But
The problem with the burn and dodge tool is that they're destructive.
Yeah, not if you do it on a separate layer.
Well, that's what
There's better ways to do it than that, though.
Yeah.
What I do is I add a new layer. I change it to soft light, and then fill it with 50% gray, and then I use a white or a black brush
And paint it in.
to dodge your burn.
See, I forgot you use Lightroom because the other two here don't.
Yeah. Yeah, no, in Lightroom, you can put a radial filter on it and take it down, and then you can base it on the luminosity to take down that,
Just the highlights.
just the highlights. So that's probably what I'll do.
So, guys, am I doing something wrong when I name my pictures? I mean, I purposely put Brian Mayban 1998 to say it's an old photo.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But
She
it's
didn't
like,
pick up. She didn't pick
Is
up
that
on.
real?
yeah,
She didn't pick up on that at all.
Digital image from that.
yeah.
Yeah.
What am I gonna, am I gonna call it Brian Mayban shot on Ilford FP4 film with an Olympus camera?
Yeah. One image not composited.
On December the 11th, 1993, at the Plymouth Pavilions.
We'll need a new announcer. Yeah. No, I don't know why she questioned that. And
Well-
like the moon on on
On Greg.
Rhyolite image, it's like it really didn't matter if it was added or if it wasn't added.
Right.
I mean, the fact that it didn't look like it was added was a good thing. And
And it was good that you said that, told her that, that's not a consideration.
I was trying to figure out how to say that. Yeah.
Yeah.
You did a good job, and I did my best to ignore commenting while we're in competition.
Yeah, because you don't want to comment on your own image,
Right.
and you want to be quiet and just let them judge it. Yeah.
Me too. I didn't want to pipe up and say, yes, it was shot in 1993 and it was on film,
Yeah.
Well, and if you'd said that, it influences.
It's already marked them anyway, so.
Right, I know, but it still influences her,
Yeah.
just her, she can't change. Well, she actually, because we can't see what she's doing, she could actually change the score.
Yeah, she could have. Yeah. But again, it just goes to show how nice it is that they get the images ahead of time because,
Yeah.
it's like you can tell they really studied the images. She made notes for herself.
Mm-hmm.
It's something that they can't do when they judge live. They don't have any time at all.
Right.
No, I think we're getting better judging results as a result.
I think we are.
Yeah, definitely.
Maybe we can look further afield than California for judges. She was willing to do it.
How about Australia?
I have a friend in Mongolia.
Australia are 23 hours ahead of us.
No.
Behind us.
Yeah, they're ahead.
Yeah, I know they're ahead, but I don't think it's 23 hours.
I think it is.
Probably is about that.
Yeah, it's the other side of the planet, isn't it?
So the competition would be a different day for them than for us.
Yeah, right.
I mean,
Tomorrow.
they'd have to get up fairly early to judge us. At 7 p.m. at night, they probably have to be up 3 or 4 in the morning.
What time is it in Australia?
The time in Canberra, ACT, Australia is 2:01 p.m.
It's 2 in the afternoon.
Yeah, that wouldn't be bad.
Do they have zones?
Yeah, they do. Yeah, there's a couple different zones.
Yeah, which
they
city
have
is that?
they have let's see, in Kingston, wherever that is, it's 3:01 p.m. In Adelaide, it's 1:31 p.m. In Perth, it's 12:01 p.m. And on Christmas Island, it's 11:01 p.m. or a.m. So
if it's 11 now, then at the beginning of the competition, it would still be morning. It wouldn't be too early.
well, I like the difference between Kingston and Adelaide is not 2 hours, it's an hour and a half.
Yeah. That must be confusing.
Well, in Canada, they have half-hour time zones.
Yeah, yeah.
On the East Coast.
I've actually never seen that before. I had never seen it before.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, Newfoundland and those things are like a half an hour
Yeah.
different. So,
Well, you know, the United States actually has five time zones because we've got up there in
we have
Maine.
the mountain time zone, which doesn't switch.
Right.